I want to talk about scalable sales processes. So we've gotten over the fact that we don't like sales because now we're just solving problems for people, and we've made a process, and we've got people who are running the process, and we've worked out how to ensure that our sales hire has the same kind of passion, well, not the same passion, but knows how to transfer that passion.
Yeah, knows how to extract what they need to so that they can sell and find their own flavor of sales.
And we've worked out who we're selling to and who our target market is and who our favorite customers, and everything's going great, and the telephone starts ringing, and now we need a sales process. Mm-hmm. What should we do then?
Well, I'd really hope by this point you've got a sales process going. Okay. Are you talking more around how do we develop the sales process in terms of how do we go all the way from the initial conversation all the way through to a close? Or are you talking about how do we make that process scalable?
Well, I think first of all, we need to, so you actually are saying that we should have that process before we have our first hire.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
Yeah. Here's the macro principle.
Yeah.
Sales process is important.
Yeah.
More important is the buying process.
Okay.
Right? So we can have our sales process as far as, and I'll give you an example of a typical tech, We've had an initial conversation. We've booked a demo. We've showed them our software, our product, our whatever it is that they're selling. We send them a proposal. They go and talk to their business partner, their board, whoever. We get a signed contract. Now we move to onboarding, right? Yep. It's your typical sales process, right? Yep. And that's fine. If you start with that and you just take that off this podcast and you start using that, great, please go for it, right? Yep. Here's the thing. Yep. Don't get attached to it. Because what's more important to the buyer is how they buy, not how you sell. Okay. So what you want to be asking them, and this is a great closing question, but also sales process question. What's your decision-making process look like? Like, how often has a salesperson asked you that?
Yeah.
Because it flips it from being about their sales process and them trying to close you and doing what's best for the client. What's your buying process? How do you go about making a decision? I've had some selling to small business owners, I've had some great answers. I don't make decisions on the spot. I think about it over the weekend. I meditate on all my decisions and I'll come back to you in a week. I talk to my business partner. I talk to my spouse. I talk to XYZ in my team. I talk to my board. Great. Now we understand what your buying process is. We can now align our sales process. So have a sales process in theory lined up, right? So if you need to have a proposal template ready, or you need to have a demo prepared, all of these things, right? When you're getting going, before you bring the salesperson on, you literally make this stuff up as you go. People ask for it, right? So you're almost building your sales process on the go. But when the salesperson comes in, having a few of those pieces of collateral and kind of framework there. But I wouldn't be, particularly in B2B, and the larger the dollar value, the more flexible you need to be on your sales process and make it about their buying process. And then align to that, which then becomes your sales process. So that as a foundational principle, I think is really important. And the mindset of salesperson, you don't do these things, but read the room. Sales is art and science. The science is the structure, because the structure works, right? But if you are blunt about the structure, if you try and execute it verbatim, you're not reading the room. You're not using the tonality of your voice. You're not listening to the pauses. You're not listening to their objections. Because if someone gives you a reasonable objection, you want to pause, take it into account and go, does this mean that they're now not a fit? Or is this something that we need to address or look further into, or solve part of a problem so that we can unlock their buying process and allow them to buy? So it's a little bit of a roundabout way of talking about it, but I would be... You're forever building these assets and mindsets into the business around your approach to your sales process over time. But you certainly don't want to walk in, have a salesperson walk in and not have at least some kind of a direction as to how that would work.
Yeah, that's great. So flexibility.
And
still staying curious.
Yeah, still staying curious. I've forgotten one thing that's really, really important. Sales methodology. Have a sales methodology. Now, people get confused often between sales process and sales methodology. Sales process is what we've just spoken about, the bouncing ball, what's the next steps. Sales methodology is how you score a deal, right? It's like a rating system for how likely this person is to go ahead and buy. The simplest version is Bant. I know you guys use that. Have a Google. I didn't come up with it. It's all over the internet. Very easy to follow. Budget, authority, need, timing. 4 really quick questions to work out. If you don't know those, chances of them buying, low. If you know all of those, chances high. And or if you know that some of them aren't a fit, then maybe they're not going to buy for 3 months, 6 months until those things are solved, right? Yeah. There's many more complex and detailed methodologies out there that I would say start to kick in about $25,000 sort of size of sale. Yeah. Above that is where you want something more complex than Bant. But having that underpinning a sales process where you're flexible, curious, and going on the buyer's journey, now you've got a real solid foundation to start building upon and customizing for your business for the scale that you were talking about before.
Yeah, wow. You know a lot about this stuff, Pete. Very good. I feel like I've been working with you for a while, but I feel like this is my first lesson.
There's always more. There's always more.
Yeah.